Somerset run through Warwickshire to take control at Edgbaston. Edgbaston played host to the high-flying Somerset in round 3 of the Bob Willis Trophy. Somerset led the way in the central group, having won their first 2 fixtures, whilst Warwickshire aimed to play spoiler and take their first win of the season. It was Warwickshire who batted first, and they did so with caution, wary of a bowling attack that has propelled Somerset to the top of the central group. Just 12 runs were scored off the first 8 overs before the partnership was broken. Overton pushed one across Yates, only for the opener to feather it through to Davis. Overton struck again in his next over. He found a route through to Sam Haines off stump to bowl the Warwickshire man for 1. His next over would see another wicket fall, this time courtesy of a pinpoint throw from Tom Abell. Bell looked for a quick single, and Rhodes couldn't get there before leg stump went flying out of the ground, run out for 10. Matt Lamb and Ian Bell stuck together long enough to bring up the 50, but the former England man wouldn't last, caught off Lewis Gregory down the leg side. Overton picked up another wicket on the stroke of lunch. Lamb bowled through the gate, and Warwickshire struggling at 65 for 5. Once again, it was down to Tim Bresnan and Michael Burgess to mount a rescue mission for the Bears, and the pairs did well to bring an end to Somerset's early period of dominance. The partnership had taken their side to the cusp of 3 figures when the resistance was brought to an end. 2 wickets in 2 balls saw Lewis Gregory bowl Burgess for 15, before Thompson followed, run out by Banton. Bresnan guided the Bears through to the 100, Gregory the target of his frustration. He'd begin to run out of partners though. 1 able over saw the end of Brooks first, caught in the slips by James Hildreth, followed 2 balls later by Craig Miles. Davis this time with the take behind the stumps. And the Somerset captain brought an end to the Warwickshire innings in his next over. Hannon Dalby removed without troubling the scorers. The Bears all out for just 121 runs and already under pressure. Where the home side start had been a tough one, Somerset's openers found their feet. Tom Lammonby and Eddie Byron both finding the boundary early. They were 24 for 0 when tea was called, Somerset on top. The pair saw that total past 50 after the restart. But they wouldn't go much further. Warwickshire finally had something to celebrate when Byron was removed by Hannon Dalby by way of a smart Bresnan catch. And he'd repeat the trick a few overs later. Lammonby was the next man to go, caught in the slips for 33. Tom Abell stood firm in the dying light in Birmingham. The first disruption of the day saw the players depart the field due to bad light, and they wouldn't return. Conditions deteriorated and stumps were called early. Somerset had played their way to 80 for 2, trailing Warwickshire by just 41 runs. While it had been a day to forget for the Bears, it was one to remember for the visitors. Craig Overton had once again led an attack that has now taken 50 wickets this summer, 1 every 4.2 overs bowled. They'll look to take total control tomorrow with the bat, with one eye on another quick finish.